Hello and welcome to Tech360. My name is Aayush Ailawadi. Should I change my name from Ailawadi to that? Because everyone, each tech company, each auto company is using AI in some form or the other. I can promise you, this is the real deal. This is your favorite technology show, Tech360. This is not AI. I'm here in Maximum City and we're going to bring you the best from the world of AI, tech, auto and so much more. Let's get this show on the road. Well, festive season is upon us, and if you wanted to buy a new iPhone, well then that was in our previous Diwali episode. Apple has just dropped a new surprise, and it goes by the name of M5. The new M5 MacBook Pro and the M5 iPad Pro. We're going to be talking about them, telling you whether they're a true bang for your buck, but most importantly, what is this M5 all about? Well, let me give you one word to explain it, and that is AI. These are AI-powered devices, and if you thought the M4, any M series of Apple was fantastic when it comes to dealing with big workloads, lots of graphics, processing, editing, well then this takes it to a whole other level. Is it a true bang for your buck? Is it a worthy upgrade? More importantly, is this something that we'll be using here on Tech360? Well, let's find out.
The 14-inch MacBook Pro M5 retains the design introduced in 2021, but packs significantly more performance on the inside. Apple claims up to 24 hours of battery life, though real-world testing shows a little over 18 hours, still comfortably enough for a full day of work. The device ships with macOS Tahoe, featuring a redesigned liquid glass interface with translucent layers and vibrant colors. Storage performance has doubled, with SSD read and write speeds up to 2 times faster than the previous generation. The base model includes 16 GB unified memory and storage options ranging from 512 gigs all the way to 4 terabytes. Connectivity includes 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, HDMI 2.1, an SDXC card slot and MagSafe 3 charging. Basically, the MacBook Pro with M5 delivers exceptional performance for creative professionals.
Here on Tech360, we believe in practice, not just in theory. The proof is in the pudding, or in the M5 in this case. We were editing a Tech360 bunch of videos on this MacBook, and believe you me, 4K, right? With all the graphics and the whole gamut of things that we tossed on this M5, 1 minute 27-second video was edited, exported, completely ready for you to see in less than 25 seconds. That's how powerful the MacBook Pro is. And honestly, if you ask me about last year's MacBook Pro, it had almost similar stats, maybe a few seconds more, but better than real time. It's a no-brainer that creators, editors, the entire Tech360 team has been using some of these MacBooks for the longest time, me included. In fact, even when you talk about what Apple's done with its iPhones now, a bunch of different things that are edited at the same time. I often edit my reels on the go, work with the team in that ecosystem, and the ecosystem play is what seems to work with these devices. And I think it's only going to be iterations going forward, because you're already so good at what you're doing. You're already ahead of the pack. So if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Seems to be what Apple's done with these two M5 devices.
The iPad Pro M5 is available in 11-inch and 13-inch sizes, both featuring Ultra Retina XDR tandem OLED displays rated at 1000 nits full screen brightness and 1600 nits peak HDR. The M5 is all about AI, and so the new chip delivers up to 3.5 times faster AI performance than the previous M4 iPad Pro and up to 5.6 times faster than M1 models. 256 and 512 gig models come with a 9-core CPU and 12 GB RAM. While the 1TB and 2TB versions include the full 10-core CPU and 16 gigs of RAM. That's a lot of power. All models feature the 10-core GPU. Faster storage enables quicker data transfers from SD cards and also from professional media drives. Under the hood, there's also a major upgrade that arrives in wireless performance. Apple's new N1 networking chip introduces Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread support, improving hotspot stability, AirDrop speed, and smart home connectivity. Cellular models feature the C1X modem, offering up to 50% faster speeds while using 30% less power compared to Qualcomm modems. But honestly, when it comes to iPads, you don't necessarily need the cellular model. The Wi-Fi model is good enough as long as it is connected or tethered to your iPhone, the heart of the ecosystem. Another big addition is fast charging. It finally comes to the iPad Pro for the first time, a big boon for creators, up to 50% charge in 30 minutes with a 60-watt adapter. And the real MacBook-like game changer for iPads is iPad OS 26, which brings desktop-like windowing, allowing up to 12 resizable app windows on screen simultaneously.
Honestly, if you ask me, I am on Team iPad all along. When I'm on the go, I use the iPad with a Magic Keyboard and an Apple Pencil and get the job done. But now with all those AI features that we've been talking about, this becomes a very interesting upgrade. Is it a good upgrade from the M4? Maybe not. It can do practically anything and everything that the M4 could do and a little more. But if you're probably on an older iPad or an Android tablet, well, then you know that this is miles ahead when it comes to computing power and just the look and feel of it. They've not changed so much from the outside when you talk about design. Even the MacBook looks exactly the same. It's like that meme that's been doing the rounds. Same, but different. It's different on the inside with M5 and of course more battery life. If on a MacBook you're getting 24 hours of battery life, I think that is a game changer. You don't need to plug it in anywhere. So if we're taking those long flights to Apple, Google, Samsung, or wherever the biggest global tech events are happening, well, this is something I might need to use over even an iPad. But personally, like I said, the iPad with the Magic Keyboard, 13-inch would have been a better upgrade for me, but this 11-inch will do for now. With the Magic Keyboard, and Apple Pencil is an absolute productivity powerhouse, if you ask me. Okay, so much talk on Tech360, so I need to give you a verdict with these devices. If you're on the market for a new tablet or a new laptop, M5 is the way to go. If you're upgrading from Android, any M series by Apple is far superior. But if you're on an M4, an M3, even an M2, honestly, those devices can get the job done for 99% of you. If you want to really heavy AI workflows, really need that graphics processing unit, you really want to probably do some editing, pro grading, then you want the latest and greatest. But that's not even what I want to talk about. Just in terms of what Apple's been doing with software on these devices, and these as well, is something I've spoken about very often before, and that seems to be the future of where Apple is going, even if they don't accept it, which is convergence. All of these devices, this beautiful sheet of glass, and this clunky but very powerful MacBook Pro, largely runs at the heart of it with the same technology. Obviously, there'll be a little bit more throttling on one, there'll be better thermal performance on one, that's a form factor thing. But you snap on a Magic Keyboard here, get an Apple Pencil here, with that M5, you can do practically most of the tasks that you would do on a MacBook once you get used to the software. That's iPad OS. But then if you're more comfortable with your iPhones, then iOS and iPad OS seems like they're very familiar territory for you. So what I'm trying to say is the future is convergence. Is it going to be one super product? Eventually, will this replace the MacBooks, or will the MacBooks become so much more like the iPads? That's the question all of us tech enthusiasts have been asking. Apple, we're looking for answers. But for now, the M5 in all its splendor here on Tech360. Let's shift our focus to one of the biggest things happening in tech. Usually, it's the iPhone launches, then of course there's the Samsung Galaxy launches, there's foldables now, but there's been one other contender, especially here in India, and that's OnePlus. The OnePlus 15 is expected very soon. In fact, the company is gearing up to launch its next flagship smartphone, which is the OnePlus 15 in India very soon. Expectations are high, as always, amongst all of us tech enthusiasts and the OnePlus community, and it looks like the company is packing plenty of premium features this year to take on the big players that I mentioned already in the market. If we look at the Chinese variant, which was introduced a couple of days back, the phone is powered by Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor. This chipset is built on TSMC's advanced 3nm process, promising major improvements in speed, power efficiency, and overall performance, especially for gaming and AI-driven tasks. And I think those are the flavors of the season, AI and gaming, if that's anything to go by. At the front of the device, it boasts a massive 6.87-inch flat OLED display that supports an incredibly fast 165Hz refresh rate and a sharp 1.5K resolution. So it'll be buttery smooth, but we expect that from OnePlus devices by now. If you're into gaming or streaming or just scrolling through social media, the experience should feel incredibly immersive and smooth. Battery life has also received a major bump. If the Chinese variant is anything to go by, the OnePlus 15 will now have a huge 7300 mAh battery, one of the largest ever seen on a OnePlus phone, making it ideal for long days of use like the shoot today without constantly worrying about charging your device. And remember, OnePlus is the absolute king when it comes to fast charging, which is something that Apple and Samsung have been trying but really not gotten there with OnePlus's ultra-fast 120-watt wired charging, those big bricks I'd expect, and 50-watt wireless charging, which is also incredibly fast, given wireless charging is usually much slower, ensuring that you are powered up in no time. On the back, OnePlus has introduced a new square-shaped camera module. It includes a 50-megapixel primary camera, 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 50-megapixel periscope telephoto, which most likely has a 3.5x optical zoom for detailed zoom shots, something we can't wait to get our hands on. But the main sensor is reportedly smaller than the one on the OnePlus 13, which could potentially mean there is some sort of impact on low-light photography. That's something we'd want to see as well. Interestingly, OnePlus has officially ended its long-standing Hasselblad partnership for this model. So the camera tuning and branding will rely solely on OnePlus's own optimizations, which I honestly think is not a big deal because a lot of these camera partnerships by these smartphone makers were great for marketing purposes. The real proof is in the pudding, it's in the hardware, it's in the software optimization, and more importantly, it's in how they use their AI. Design-wise, the OnePlus 15 continues the company's premium DNA with a sleek metal and glass build. Now, if the leaks and mock-ups and the Chinese variant are anything to go by, it is a very premium looking device. But it's all about software in 2025 and AI. Now, the global variant will obviously ship with Oxygen OS 16, but the Chinese version runs Color OS 16 based on the latest Android. That's a very Oppo-esque approach for China, but for the world, it's a very different approach by OnePlus. A global rollout is expected sometime mid-November 2025. If you're on the market for a new smartphone, well, this is something you should be waiting for. Indian availability will follow soon after. It remains to be seen, though, whether all the features from the Chinese model, especially the massive battery, fast charging combo, will make their way into the Indian variant as well. Honestly, the team here at Tech360 can't wait to get their hands on these new devices and share our views and reviews. Maybe stack them up against other flagships from Samsung and Apple and see how they fare. Remember, a couple of things about OnePlus. They've been getting their AI right from last year. It looks really good and it also feels very premium, and most importantly, it's very competitively priced. And there's a loyal, engaged OnePlus community which makes sure that the company keeps their after-sales process sorted. So we can't wait here, but no pressure, Team OnePlus, because all eyes are on this brand to see how the OnePlus 15 shapes up in what is already becoming 2025 is already a very competitive year for flagship smartphones. How can you be watching your favorite technology show without talk of EVs and the future of mobility? It's all tech, remember, and it's all on the other side of a commercial break. I'll see you there. Welcome back to Tech360. My name is Aayush Ailawadi, and you know, as much as I like tech, auto is very close to my heart and every tech enthusiast's heart. In fact, auto has become so much more tech of late, and there's a very important show taking place in the heart of Tokyo. So we want to say konnichiwa from the Tech360 team and understand what the trends are, how EVs are taking center stage. What about the future of mobility? Is AI playing a key part at this Japan mobility show? Have a look.
We are at the Japan Mobility Show, and it's always not about new cars, but tech at large.
Many announcements were anticipated, and some of them, of course, came true. A very strong focus on advanced technology being a major backbone of mobility and transportation was expected. That is exactly what can be seen. Electrification, hybrid drivetrains, highly sophisticated features, hydrogen and other alternative propulsion systems, they're the key talking points. But of course, all of this is wrapped up in packages that has been living in poster forms on our walls since childhood. Cars. Here's 7 things that immediately caught our attention.
I've heard about Lexus, the luxury arm of Toyota. This sits even higher. I'm talking about the Century, their super exclusive car. This is in an electric concept format.
The new Century Coupe looks the part on the outside and the inside. One can see that there are no seats for the front passenger and the driver's side rear passenger. In fact, a wall of laser beams seems to be the curtain. The Century SUV is a plug-in hybrid, so expecting the coupe to be very similar.
The theme has been around electric vehicles, sustainability, and automakers have come out with lots of concepts. One of them right behind me. This is based on the Zero series, the Alpha SUV concept, which makes production 2026 and it makes India debut in 2027.
The Alpha is the gateway model of the Zero series, and in Honda's own words, thin, light and wise is the approach they took with this series. Nissan had a pretty busy booth with 3 major models under their new market strategy called Re-Nissan.
Right behind me is the Nissan Elgrad. This essentially is the premium people's mover from Nissan, which takes on the likes of Toyota Wildfire and Honda Odyssey in the global market. Now this becomes the first Nissan product to appear with E-Force 4-wheel drive setup.
The beloved Patrol SUV is about to make a comeback in the first half of fiscal year 2027. This again is for the Japanese market, but considering how popular it was for sand duning in the Middle East, we're sure it will spread. Refined appearances, a Google-powered infotainment system, vehicle-to-load functionality and suspension upgrades were part of the refreshed Aria package. Continuing the theme of busy booths, Suzuki's By Your Side team had busy sides because of so many products on display.
If someday Maruti Suzuki plans to bring in a Wagoner electric to India, this is what it may just look like. Well, that's purely an assumption from my side, but what you see here on stage, this is a brand new concept which should eventually be into production from 2026 in the Japanese market. Currently, it's called the Sky Vision.
And while we may be seeing less and less of Mitsubishi cars on our Indian roads, if the Elevance concept turns up here, it will cause a traffic jam in the middle of the Thar Desert, honestly. It is an electrified crossover concept, a FEV system equipped with a high-efficiency gasoline engine compatible with carbon-neutral fuels as well as a large-capacity traction battery. And comes with a quad-motor 4-wheel drive system powered by Mitsubishi's super all-wheel control technology, which means it is designed for urban cruising and off-road adventures. A feature that we at Tech360 are especially looking forward to test, the AI co-driver. It is displayed on the LCD screen embedded on the steering wheel and uses AI technology for offering multiple real-time assists, including personalized destination suggestions for optimal drive modes to choose based on real-time analysis of the surrounding conditions that you're driving in, and more. Hyundai has had grand electrification plans for long, but what caught major attention was the Nexo concept, which also emits 0 bad things from the tailpipe, but also without needing a charger and calming remedies for the current state of EV range anxiety. Why? Because the Nexo is powered by hydrogen. A 5-minute top-up fills the tank completely, and then Hyundai says it will run for a top range of 826 kilometers. And talking of Hyundai, Kia's PBV philosophy of platform beyond vehicle lineup had its first product unveiled, the PV5. The cargo long-range model is quoting a range of up to 528 kilometers and is an effort by Kia to enter the Japanese market strongly.
Be honest with me, when you've been stuck in a tricky situation, how often have you used ChatGPT or any other AI? Well, that's the question we want to ask here on Tech360. Have you used it to get out of a soup? Have you gotten into a soup because you used ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity? Have you bought their Pro subscriptions? Have you used it and not told someone, maybe your boss, that you were using it and gotten away with it? More importantly, would you pay for these Pro subscriptions or bundle them in some free form or use a hack? This is what we wanted to do on Tech360 by coming to you, the Tech360 community, for a true AI fact check. Have a look.
Which AI app do you use? Mostly ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, sometimes Gemini.
ChatGPT mostly.
I use Perplexity, Gemini, mainly ChatGPT. I have the premium version also. It helps me so much with my content, ideas, everything.
Gemini and GPT.
I use ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, Gemini. I am using ChatGPT.
Yeah, Google Gemini I use.
No, not really. I don't stand for it. So, yeah.
Any specific reason?
First of all, it kills the environment. It's very unethical. It takes off people's private resource. It leeches off people's years of research and doesn't even credit it. So even if you do use accurate information, you will never get marked on it correctly for academic purposes. And it scientifically makes you dumber because it just kills your brain cells. It's not worth it, personally.
Which AI app do you use? For what do you use these applications?
To draft my emails, to analyze data, etc. All of those things basically.
Sometimes to get information for my project sometimes so that I get a clear idea and I can make the framework.
Some new ideas.
I have ChatGPT Plus. So if I have to remove few renders or color swatches or anything related to patterns and all these things, so that is when I use ChatGPT.
Like our projects and queries, question answer. Our engineering subjects means numerical theory subject. They give the accurate answer.
Like my study purpose.
Sometimes I use it for my work to generate images.
Mostly content, like when I want to write something.
Would you ever pay for its Pro subscription?
Depends. It depends based on my paycheck.
Never.
I don't think so.
No,
No, right now, no.
Do you think that the Pro subscription is worth the money?
Sometimes, not all the times, because if I'm generally talking about like generating images, if you have a normal subscription, it is not going to help you. In a day, you can just remove 5, I guess. But with the Plus one, there's no limit to it.
So for me, basically, I am able to process a lot of data together.
I mean, the Pro user, the app knows you better than anyone else, right? You're chatting with ChatGPT every day. So it is recording every single response which you're doing. So I mean, it will give you a more personalized response if you want. If I want a script for R.A. Kotari, it will give me a more personalized response than normal apps, normal version, right? Because it's not recording me. It's not the normal app doesn't know me.
Have you ever used, ChatGPT or Gemini where you should not have?
Without it, it was much better because people actually use their brains. Now we're kind of dependent on it, and I think it's gonna get even deeper into our roots when we're gonna start working.
In the long run.
Exactly.
Okay. For you?
Yeah, I agree with her answer because people have become too dependent on AI and they have just stopped using their own brains to, work on stuff.
Sometimes people use AI to generate an email. Or like a message, a thank you message for people. So I've seen people use it, so that's not right.
It looks like a lot of us are using AI, but I need to do a little bit of an internal check here on the show to figure out how much of this content we are generating is using AI and how much of it is real. I am here, real, in the flesh, to bring you the latest and greatest in tech. Yet another action-packed episode, tech-loaded. Tech360 draws to a close. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Of course, we've had AI-powered MacBooks and iPads, the future of mobility, AI in your smartphones, and now we know how many of you guys are breaking up and making up using ChatGPT or Gemini for that matter. I'm your host, Aayush Ailawadi, signing off for this week. And until next week, adios.